Yeah, Assalamualaikum, good afternoon everybody. Thank you Aina, thank you Ali for your kind introduction. And it is an honor for me to be part of this session. Before I invite Mr. Irshad to the floor, allow me to set the background and the topic of our discussion by sharing you the latest development and innovation for blockchain in the non-fungible token space. A quick background story to NFT and what's been happening out there. NFT, for example, the Grimes, which is a self-described crypto queen, recently auctioned her one NIF digital collection, and she managed to sell off all her digital collection for an amount of 6 million USD in less than 20 minutes. And also, another interesting story about NFT. A 12-year-old boy from the UK managed to secure 290,000 pounds from just selling his NFT, which is a whale, his drawing of whales. And as early as a couple of days ago, it was reported that Jenkins, the valet, which is a non-fungible token, an avatar on the Ethereum blockchain, has been signed with Creative Artists Agency for representation across books, film, TV, podcasts, and more. Jenkins, the valet, the avatar, is signed by a global talent representation agency who also work with the likes of Beyonce and Justin Bieber. Imagine what is happening in that space, and so many exciting developments that we should take notice of. Okay, in order for us to decipher this and to also decipher this latest phenomenon in the blockchain space, we are very fortunate to have with us today Mr. Irshad, the CEO and co-founder of Pentas IO, our very own Malaysian homegrown NFT marketplace, an inclusive NFT marketplace that seeks to empower content creators of heritage, cultural and traditional value through digital preservation of digital assets. A little bit of marketing there for Mr. Irshad. So Mr. Irshad, welcome to the chat.
Thank you. I'm great, and it's good to be part of this ISKANDAR NEXT and also Ignite blockchain event.
Thank you, Mr. Irshad, for making time to be with us. Like we said, the old saying says we always leave the best for last. So NFT is going to leave us with more reason why we should explore into this blockchain space. Okay. Allow me to start this session because of the potential opportunity that NFT has to offer. I've already put together a 4-in-1 question for Mr. Irshad. So hopefully within the next 20 to 30 minutes, we are able to listen and hear what Mr. Irshad has to say about these 4 questions. Yeah. So let me quickly say it out. My question would be, what is NFT and why these virtual tokens are being sold for millions of dollars? That is my first question. Second one is, how is NFT transforming the arts and the digital content industry? And what are the benefits of NFT? Last but not least, what is Pentas offering for the NFT industry? So over to you, Cik Irshad.
Thank you. I would love to start with the basics. So basically, people did ask, and for those, I believe, for those who are participating in this webinar and this for this blockchain session, we heard a lot about blockchain. And another component on top of blockchain is actually NFT itself, right? So it goes back to the question that Mr. Ibrahim asked, what is NFT? So by definition, NFT itself is a token. And what type of token? NFT is actually is non-fungible. And I don't like to use this specific jargon where, okay, this non-fungible, what is non-fungible compared to Bitcoin, because I think previous panel did mention about cryptocurrency, did mention about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and also what are those different between Bitcoin and NFT. So the core difference between Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, and NFT is the way either it is fungible and non-fungible. Fungible means one value of a coin equivalent to another value of a coin. So if I want to give an example, let's say we have a 1 ringgit note, 1 ringgit, because our Malaysian ringgit, we have a blue color note. One piece of paper of blue color note is always the same of another piece of paper of blue color note. That is fungible. So, which means even though the piece of paper, sometimes there's a tear, there's a, I don't know, some paper is old paper, some paper is a newer printed money. So the value people perceive it is still the same. So I can trade with you, I can give you one piece, you can give me another piece. So the traded value is the same. That is fungible. So when it comes to non-fungible, this is where we tokenize something. For example, it can be something that, it can be art, it can be vaccination certificate, it can be education certificate, it can be landlord, land property ownership certificate. So things like this, because the value itself is actually not equal. You cannot simply trade it as one or another. Of course, you can perceive it equal, but on the basis, basically, it is not the same. So goes back to the basic rules is NFT. It is also a token. How does it behave or how does it react? It's actually it is based on what are the key components, what are the things that you're going to attach to this token to indicate that, okay, this is an art, or this is a music, or this is a certificate, vaccine certificate, or etc. So those are the basic, basic ground rules of understanding what is NFT. Yeah. So shall I go on the next question or?
Yes. Yeah. How is NFT transforming the art and digital content industry? That was my second question.
Okay. So you see, when blockchain exists, right? When blockchain exists, if I want to talk to people, if I want to ask people, what does blockchain really solve? And maybe you can answer, what does really blockchain solve? Blockchain solves one thing, which is it solves the trust issue. Underlying it is basically the technology itself. It solves double spending issue. And because of blockchain solve trust, due to its public ledger, right? It gives a medium or something that people can evaluate and see and validate. So when there is a ledger, there is a system where people can trust, people can see. When it comes with NFT, so it means NFT combined with blockchain, this gives an ownership of something. NFT become a birth certificate of something. So when it comes to birth certificate of something, ownership of something, so people can trace how does it create. Which means when people mint an NFT, they put an attachment. Okay, this NFT is actually an art. It has a name, it has a title, it has an attachment. Okay, this art is actually linked to this image, JPEG or PNG or MP4. So those are the attachment of the NFT. And because of the blockchain technology itself, because it goes back to the topic or goes back to this Ignite session, so which is blockchain solve trust, and also blockchain provide ledger, a trustable ledger. So NFT combined with blockchain indicates that, okay, from the NFT itself, what are the items, and it gives the ownership to people. And because of it keeps track of ownership, it can be transacted, it can be traded, it can be another asset class, because when people invest in crypto, in coins, that is also asset class, but NFT also can be part of asset class. For example, as I said, maybe after this we want to, if you want to issue a grant or grant tanah, right, we need to rely on certain agencies to do that. But if, let's say, we all agree as a nation to say, okay, all of this information will be available on a blockchain and you'll be issued as NFT. So those are the key, key things about NFT.
And as we can see that Pentas is very much in the art scene, right? And how is this being used? NFT in this case and blockchain is being used to support the art scene under Pentas.
One of the ways, because Pentas part as what we provide is actually we provide a platform, we provide a solution where people can issue their NFT, because the technology itself is actually for everyday Joe. There might be some tricky. Okay, how do I really? I know about NFT. Maybe some people they know about NFT, they heard about NFT, but how do they create an NFT and how do they trade it? So when we come back to those questions, how does this benefit an artist? Because NFT itself is the attachment of existing art team. It does not, how to say, it is not for replacement. For example, certain art is actually, okay, some artists, they paint on a canvas. They think that, okay, NFT might, how to say, will eliminate whatever they do, but actually it's not. So NFT itself can empower these creators. So which is a part of our key component, or part of our key motto that we try to bring, is actually tokenization of culture and heritage, right? When it comes to artists, how they can benefit, is basically they can use this as a medium of issuing a birth certificate, a medium of creating a timestamp on their creation. Because before this, most of the artists, when they create an art, they just upload on Facebook. Maybe they upload on Instagram. But does it prove their ownership? Basically, no. Right? So instead of relying on that social media platform, why not those artists utilizing, riding on the blockchain technology itself with NFT? So it means they can create a stamp on their digital creation, which is by registering it on the blockchain, which is, it goes back to the same terms that we are discussing right now, which is non-fungible token. Actually, you are tokenizing, right? You are tokenizing your creation. So there's a lot of benefits come from this, right? Either it can be for commercial purpose, or it can be for record keeping purpose. So if it is for record keeping purpose, you can just keep it on a blockchain. It will last long. I believe in a blockchain that blockchain is here to stay, right? Blockchain is here to stay in the decades, whatever future that will come along. But again, if it is as a record keeping purpose, people can see. People can know that, okay, at this certain date and time, this is the pieces, this is the details about this art has been stamped, right? Has been stamped, has been issued, has been mint on the blockchain. So this is very powerful record keeping purpose, because it goes back to the blockchain fundamental itself. Why blockchain is invented? Because we want to solve the trust issue. So the ledger is public, is untampered, so it can be used as a record keeping purpose. So another benefit for the artist is, again, for commercial purpose. Because if, let's say, certain artists, they see it as, okay, there's a way for them to utilize NFT for commercial purpose, means they can trade, people can buy, right? People can buy NFT based on, collectors can contribute, collectors can help the artist by buying the NFT. So those are the benefits that the creators can get from issuing NFT or be part of the NFT.
We know that you have at least about 3,000 collections, right, on your marketplace now. Am I right?
Not 3,000. It's about 20,000.
20,000. There you go. 20,000.
As of today, because this is on public info, again, blockchain is very transparent. People can check the smart contract. People can read on the smart contract. As of now, we have about 25,000 NFT issued under Pentas smart contract. So roughly about 25,000, and there is about 3,400 wallets who hold the NFT. So this is very huge for us, that because Pentas, our go live is actually on 21st of August. So it's about a month. So within that month, we managed to see, actually, people in Malaysia, they know about blockchain, they know about NFT, they are willing to try. So which means there is an audience that they are not living under the rock. They're not living under the rock. So people are exploring. There's an opportunity. There is a benefit where it benefits the creators. It also benefits the collectors. And I also love to touch back on the second question, like that, when you mentioned about does it benefit artists? Because there is a case study. This is happening on Pentas right now. We have our legendary Malaysian artist, which is, I'm not sure if you cartoonist Ujang. So cartoonist Ujang, yeah, I think most of Malaysia know about cartoonist Ujang. So this is one of the example where I think cartoonist Ujang, he has been silent for I don't know how many years. He did do all the comics and everything, and I think for a few years we see him less, especially on the art scene. But because of NFT, he see that potential. He see the how to say, the benefit of NFT, because not only for monetary benefit, but of course, again, it can be part of record keeping purpose, because whatever creation that he do, he put it on a blockchain. He obtained the birth certificate of whatever his creation. then these things people can enjoy it for multiple generations ahead. So this is equivalent to again tokenizing culture and heritage, tokenizing because he has his identity, he has his type of art, right? Mostly all Malaysians know about who is cartoonist Ujang. So by doing this, actually future generation can enjoy his creation, and people can see the timestamp when he do it, how does the art pieces being traded, who owns it, and so on and so on.
I have a question for you here from the audience. If you don't mind, if I share with you the question, I'm trying to see whether I can translate this. What is the category of NFT? Is it just art pieces? And how much would be, the second question related to this question is, how much would be the value to start publishing NFT? Do you need to pay anything? Is there a cost to it?
Okay. Before people understand about NFT, I believe the best fundamental is to understand blockchain and smart contracts. Because at the end of the day, what we are doing is actually we are issuing a token. And the process of issuing a token, there is a term called gas fee. Gas fee is not managed by Pentas, it's actually managed by the network maintainer. So it's managed by the validator, the blockchain validator, and also blockchain node. So those are the common practice, and actually it's the only practice of when people start to issue a token. So those are the initial fees lah. Because for NFT itself, there are multiple chains that you can choose from. It can be Ethereum, it can be Binance Smart Chain, it can be Polygon. So those are various chains that NFT do support. And what is another question?
You said that is it only art pieces? Can you only create NFT for just? What about other? For arts, or is it also for other type of digital asset, digital content?
Okay. So when we go back to the definition, non-fungible, actually the word itself is very powerful. And when I want to go back to that question, it's not always related to art. Because if you see, when you creating a birth certificate, it means you are creating a token. When you're tokenizing something, right? There are two things. First thing is, who is the owner? So who is the one that create it? So that's point number one. Point number two is, what are the components attached to it? So for example, for in Pentas, currently we do support art. Right? Of course, in the future we have a roadmap that we are going to support music. We are going to support special project or special consultation on Pentas. So the component number two, which is what are the things that you're going to attach into this non-fungible token, is up to you, right? It can be art, it can be music, it can be land property ownership, it can be vaccination certificate, it can be education certificate, you name it, right? Again, when you issue a token, it goes back to these 2 points. Who is the initial issuer? Who is the creator of the NFT token? And also, what are the attachments attached to it? Right. So you imagine, because this is by understanding these two concepts itself, it opens up our mind. Because you imagine in the future, when it comes to social media, right, when we post something on the social media, either Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, do you think the content that we post is belong to us? You need to read all those terms and conditions, right? You need to read who owns that. Like in Instagram, when you upload a photo, right? When you upload a photo on Instagram, okay, this is me in Bali, blah 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 blah. The content that you create, who owns that content? So those are the new innovation, because when it comes to the new era of social platform, the new era of blockchain, because blockchain can supply, can serve this purpose. Because for example, if you treat a certain NFT marketplace or NFT social media as a new version of social media, whatever you create, the content actually belongs to you, because it will be tokenized, like it will be tokenized into NFT. So by understanding those concepts, there's a lot of future potential. Because I believe if the moment the country adapt to this blockchain, the moment the country adapt to the possibility of NFT, one day our education certificate is no longer a piece of paper, right? It is in digital content. It is an NFT. People can validate it. People can check it. And even our passport, right? Our passport it can be issued as NFT. our inventory, home inventory, you name it, whatever, right? Asset, supply chain, raw material, those can be tokenized as an NFT.
The question that the audience is
okay.
also asking is, if let's say in the event that I personally decided that I want to tokenize my baby picture one day.
Can you repeat again? Is it in this chat? I can start.
Yeah, the question was about the cost of doing NFT. If I decided one day, if I wake up and I want to tokenize or NFTs my baby picture, how much would it cost me to do that?
Direct answer, it depends on the network that you choose. For example, Ethereum, maybe roughly about $50, $60. This is gas fee. It's not collected by the marketplace. So this is gas fee. On Binance Smart Chain, as of now, it's roughly about RM1 plus. RM1, RM2. So those are the costs lah. And again, those costs relies on the blockchain network that you choose.
I see. Interesting. So okay. Can you quote some of the user spaces that you have on your platform now? Based on what we have discussed.
This is very interesting. This is very interesting because today it just happened. I think a few hours ago. There is one of the artists is actually they need to undergo operation, which means I think they need to pay X amount of money to the hospital. And then the good thing is the community actually they gather, they create NFT and they create the auction. When they create this auction, whatever fund received based on this selling of NFT, it will be transferred to that artist for his surgery. So those are the things happening right now. I saw it on Twitter, and this is the real use case which is already happening on Pentas. So again, there is one part because NFT itself, it can be there are many utility that can run on top of NFT. And again, because based on that example use case, exactly we can call it NFT for cost, right? NFT for cost, which means let's say you want to collect a donation or anything, it can be under NFT. So which means okay, if I attend an event, for example, Ignite blockchain, if I attend an event, I will receive NFT as a merchandise. Or if I donate something, I can receive NFT as a receipt or certificate or collectible. So if those are things that I think people are creative, right? People are creative because what we do, what our role is, Pentas and together with IIB, is we need to open up people's mind because, of course, one brain is 10 brain is better than one brain, right? So which means what we are doing right now is we are opening up people's mind to see the potential of technology itself. We start with something that is we call it low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit. This is something that is can be implemented now, right? So those are the things that we can implement now. But again, there's a lot of future potential, which is as I mentioned earlier. You imagine one day our birth certificate, our IC is on the blockchain. Our vaccination cert, our passport is on the blockchain under non-fungible token.
I mean, this is a good development to encourage people to be a content producer rather than a content consumer, right? So, I mean, I wish I could, continue with the discussion because it is so interesting of what NFT can offer. Because to me, I look at it as a next way that we manage content. As I look at it, the new generation, they are going to spend 90% of their time online. Everything within whatever they are doing is digitized. They have their own digital, I would say, world. And to me, this is a way for them to capture and showcase what are their digital assets. So NFT enables you to do that. Compared to the conventional world where you collect physical things. For example, people collect stamps, people collect, I don't know, some memorabilia and all that.
That's one thing I love to touch because before the adoption of NFT, when people want to issue an asset class, they need to issue a coin. Right? People need to issue a coin because at the end, coin is one-to-one, it's a fungible. So one Bitcoin is always one Bitcoin. I think in earlier session, there's one of the speaker did mention about ICO, IEO craze, 2016, 2017. But when it comes to NFT, again, for us, we are promoting tokenization of culture and heritage. We love to see Akib Negara tokenizing their whatever Piramli footage, so that in another 100 years, 200 years ahead, people can enjoy this, people can see this, and those are the things that we try to push forward.
Thank you. I look forward to even see how we can actually promote NFT in Medini, Iskandar Puteri, even in Johor itself. And I know that you already have one very famous Johor artist on your list of what they call
yes. We have. Correct.
You have one, right? Very famous Johor artist for that. So I'm sorry we have to stop this. We are just about to get into the groove, right? For us to pull the handbrake.
No worries.
But everyone, audience out there, you can check out pentas.io. They have a lot of content in their website. You can find out about what is NFT, how to create NFT and all that. It's all in there. So thank you so much, Mr. Irshad. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you for the opportunity and
we hope to have further engagement with you. All right. So before I pass the floor back to the MC, so allow me as the project director of Ignite Blockchain to take this opportunity to thank everyone that have participated and supported this event.